good afternoon, and good evening to all. Welcome to Melanated Mondays. I hope you're here to get your Mondays melanated. You already know what it is. Roll call. Miss Destiny.
Hi everyone, happy Monday. I hope y'all are ready to get your Mondays melanated.
Miss Nikita.
Hi everyone. I hope you're here to have a great conversation.
Miss Gabrielle.
Hi everybody, happy Monday.
Miss April.
Hey everybody, let's get this melanation on.
And I'm Demi. Welcome back to another segment. We are missing another counterpart, Miss Just Dee. Hopefully she'll be with us. If not, we miss you. So yes, welcome to another segment of Melanated Mondays. Today we will be discussing code switching. Nikita, you want to take it off?
Sure. So, code switching. Code switching is the process of shifting from one vernacular to another, adjusting appearance, behavior, or expression depending on social context or a conversational setting. According to Britannica contributor Professor Carlos D. Morrison, code switching was originally studied in context of language acquisition of minority groups, like the Spanish speakers switching from Spanish to English. Code switching, as it pertains to African American language, is a switching from African American vernacular English or Ebonics to standard English and has been recognized since the 1970s. In an educational and professional environment, code switching has always been necessary for minority groups, especially as it pertains to language. In school, it is important for students to learn how to switch between the languages they chose. In school, it is important for students to learn to switch between the languages they chose to use at home and the languages they were required to learn at school, and then later to be used in the workplace. In this way, code switching is not bad or harmful because standard English is required to be used by everyone in a professional work environment. Compare it to a lawyer speaking law jargon to a florist. To be understood, the lawyer must use a universal language. However, for Black people in particular, code switching has become more of a strategy game of survival. According to Harvard Business Review, outside of having to use a universal language to get by, Black people feel that adjusting one's entire identity to certain situations will optimize the comfort of others in exchange for fair treatment, quality service, and employment opportunities. Code switching can have varying degrees, but is more prevalent in environments where people feel they must combat negative stereotypes, sometimes even to the extent to save their own life. From the Harvard Business Review, main reasons why Black people code switch in the workplace. For Black people and other racial minorities, downplaying membership in a stigmatized racial group helps increase perceptions of professionalism and the likelihood of being hired. Avoiding negative stereotypes associated with Black racial identity, for example, incompetence or laziness, helps Black employees be seen as leaders. Expressing shared interests with members of dominant groups promotes similarity with powerful organizational members, which raises the chance of promotions because individuals tend to affiliate with people they perceive as similar. Code switching can be psychologically exhausting. Imagine always feeling the need to hide who you are. This can lead to hostility from in-group members, increases the likelihood that those who code switch will be accused of acting white, lead to exhaustion from feeling the need to go out of the way to avoid any connection with negative racial stereotypes, and pretending around coworkers can lead to a reduced sense of authenticity, which can all lead to stress, hindered performance, and burnout.
Yes. So, how do y'all feel about code switching? Do y'all agree with it or not so much?
I agree with it. Nikita mentioned it in the article, but like at this point, it's a survival. It's a skill for survival. So you can say, "Oh no, I'm not code switching. Da da da. I'm gonna be who I am." But I mean, you can say that, and I support it 100%. But you don't know what opportunities you're missing out on because of that. So I'd rather just, do what I gotta do to get where I need to be. And it's not like I would code switch to a point where I'm not being myself. Like, I still feel like it's me, and I don't think somebody who knew me outside of work would see me at work and be like, oh, that's a totally different person right there. It's just, little tweaks to, like she said, to make people feel more comfortable so that I can get where I need to be, But like I said, I admire the people and women out there who feel like, I'm going to be this way regardless because that's who I am. And there are some people who are that way and they make it far. So kudos to them.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, go ahead.
I was going to ask Gariel, is what she's speaking about, is it more so of professionalism, like having that universal language like we was talking about? Or is
that's another
code
thing,
switching where when you're in mixed environments, you have that softer tone and that less aggressive, like, you know what I'm saying? You have adjusted so you don't come off as Black. You know what I'm saying? Which one are you talking about?
I agree, because like it is kind of just being professional, because even if I was working at a mostly Black organization, I feel like I would still not go to work talking to them like I talk to my homegirls in the street, like, so and it's not like I'm less aggressive, it's just that I'm more articulate and things like that. I might talk with my hands less to be less dramatic, but it's definitely not less aggressive. I still, make my point heard in the workplace.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you agree with code switching?
I don't agree with code switching, but I didn't want to cut off Demi. So go ahead, Demi. Do you agree or disagree?
I know I agree with it. I think it can get out of hand sometimes, especially when you're trying to what's the word? When you're trying to, okay, for example, be promoted or be seen at work, and you have to work twice as hard than the next person next to you because we're Black. So we tend to code switch a lot harder. It's not more for professionalism, but maybe and I guess because I've seen it, not for professionalism, but doing it more so like you put on persona, like it's a whole different person, because you want to be seen, you want somebody to notice you and not have this stigmatism or this view of you because of your skin color, so you act the other race. And I guess I feel like we've all done it. I know for sure I've caught myself plenty of times talking on the phone to representatives and my voice completely sound a completely different person, like, hi, thank you, you're so welcome, like. And no, when I get off the phone, I don't sound like that at all whatsoever. And so it has done, like, why do we do that? Do we feel, I felt like maybe if I speak like this, people won't understand me. But then I had to think about what don't you understand? I'm speaking English. What don't you understand that I'm saying in this tone of voice? Why do I have to switch up the way I'm saying? I agree and I disagree. I guess it depends on the situation and circumstance. Speaking professional and articulating your words and pronunciation, yes, I completely agree. But should our whole tone change just to be seen? No, babe, you're going to have to take me the way I am, sweetie. I'm just as great as the next person next to me. And I shouldn't have to change my tone of voice for you to look my way, because I'm sorry, that it's just not going to happen. So I am one of them. Now I am. At first I wasn't, but now I am, because kind of, why do I have to change for someone,
I don't. I mean, okay, I think that we all in some way do it, but if I agree with it, it's kind of hard to say because, like you said, in certain situations, and you may turn it on and turn it off. But like when I was in high school, I guess my elementary school and middle school was pretty normal. I had a very diverse range of people in my school, but when I went to high school, it was primarily white people. And so people had called me like loud and stuff. And so I felt like I had to die down who I was. Yeah. Like and I've died down a lot because I felt like I was being judged. And so, in that sense, I was code switching. And so, like, I guess in a way, I've kind of became a different person for, like you said, like that's what code switching is. But like, I became a different person in certain situations because like I felt how it made me feel, and I didn't like it. I was like, why are they judging me? Why don't they like me? Why am I being called something? And I'm just expressing who I am, and now I have to kind of belittle myself and become small because I don't want to become too much for someone else. And so I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do feel like in certain situations, I guess is the best thing to do.
So for you, Destiny, question, whenever you did have to code switch and you were adjusting to that environment, did that make you feel less than? Was it exhausting for you?
It was exhausting. Of course, around my friends, completely normal, nothing changed. But when I was with classmates who weren't Black, of course, I turned it on. And yeah, it was exhausting because I'm like constantly switching in between who I really am and who I'm trying to be for this group of people. And it wasn't all white people, but I had there was a certain group I remember that like I would be like talked about. And and it was me, and I had a really good friend in high school. They would talk about us and be like, really, and so then we had to both die down who we were. And yes, it is exhausting.
What about you, Nikita?
So I think that there's advantages and there's disadvantages to everything. This is no exception. It works in some places and it doesn't work in other places. For me personally, I don't feel like, I mean, you guys hear how I talk now. This is my normal voice. This is how I talk with everybody, my family, my friends, my peers, whoever. So I don't think that I code switch in order to appear more like I'm like professional or whatever.
Yeah.
After this week, I've learned what code switching is, and I never really I never knew what it was before. And now that I know what it is, I know that I have code switched, but it wouldn't be towards the people or the community that you would think I would code switch for.
That's what I was thinking.
Or towards my own Black community. I needed to be accepted because I didn't sound like everybody else. I would often get made fun of because of the way I spoke. So I thinking on it now, I find that whenever I'm around like a group of Black people, I will change certain things about myself to make myself more accepted with the group. Like easy example, I listen to a variety of music, and the majority of it is not Black music. So if I'm in a car with my friends, I'll like put on a Spotify station that's like rap or something so that they feel comfortable, because I don't think they'd be comfortable listening to my music. But in some situations where it doesn't work, is like people that have no affiliation or connection with the group that they're trying to code switch to, that doesn't work. So like for example, if a white person were speaking to an audience of Black people and they don't have like a background speaking Ebonics, then they probably shouldn't, use that dialect in order to connect with this community, because then you're not only now just pretending, then you're lying.
Inauthentic
is lying. I just think it's showing different parts of yourself to different people that you think you have that different connection with. So I don't think it's all bad, and I think it's natural. Not the really, I guess, the part where it makes Black people or anybody really who has to deal with this psychologically oppressed. But like just going to a foreign country on vacation where you don't speak the language and having to talk to a local, and the local speaking to you in English because that's the only thing you understand, to make you comfortable. That's, that's natural. And that would also be code switching. And I don't think that's bad. So good and bads to it.
I agree. I love the research you did on it and the background that you opened up with it, because it showed like the good and the bad. I think I felt like it explained how necessary it is for us to have some sort of universal language and for us to understand each other. Like you were saying, for me to be a lawyer going into a floral shop and say, using all my lawyer jargon, they be looking at me crazy. It doesn't allow for us to understand each other and communicate if we're all on. Like if Demi started speaking patois to us, it'd be like, all right, I think I caught 3 things that she said. And yeah, but I don't think any less than of her. I don't think any less than her education. I just respect that she's from somewhere else, But in order for her to communicate with us, she would need to speak English so that way we all could understand. However, I think we code switch when we make ourselves smaller. That's when it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like the softening our tone to make somebody else more comfortable, or, and adjusting ourselves to make someone else more comfortable instead of just being authentic selves. One of the things I did research on and heard on one of the TED Talks, and it was high schooler, which from a baby's mouth, they speak the truth. She was saying it's fine, or they were saying it was fine to code switch as long as it was basically you were staying authentic to yourself. It's okay to be in a professional environment and make those adjustments, but when I have to soften myself and go into a whole different person and I feel like I'm not accepted, I think that's when we need to say, hey, no. It's just like with the hair, like a lot of things that's going on with hairstyles and things of this nature. Like I shouldn't have to perm my hair and do all these other adjustments to my hair in order for me to be accepted and be considered professional in a certain environment. Another thing was for me with our names. Like we go in and we like, oh, my name is Shaniqua, but you can call me Shay or Shannon, or, what I'm saying? We're adjusting ourselves, the things that our ancestors gave us, the uniqueness of our personalities in order to make ourselves more palatable to somebody else. I don't agree with that part of it. And for me, gratefully, I think when I was younger, I used to code switch, and very much so like Nikita, I think in more ways I code switch for Black people than I did for white people, because Black folks will tell you, oh, why you sounding white? Because you think you're better than us and all these other things. But I came to understand, like, I enjoy just being me, but it was also like identity things that I had to figure out and go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I want to be? Is this comfortable for me? And I was kind of trying out different hats. But at the end of the day, I'm me. Actually, at my job now, which is predominantly white, they actually expect me to be more harsh and have this Black girl attitude and, oh, don't mess with her. She gonna give it to you. And I was like,
how you feel about that?
I don't like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it
how
worked in my advantage. It is. I agree. But it kind of worked in my advantage because I am the opposite of that. So if they already introduced me as the, crazy one, because you got to already introduce me as a crazy one, they kind of like just jump on board. You know what I'm saying? I don't barely have to say nothing to them. They just like, oh, yes, jump into it. But yeah, so like, I don't agree. So long story short, I don't agree with it. I agree with professionalism. I agree with having a universal sort of dialect, but I think it's important for us to be ourselves and be able to come in the room with our uniqueness. I'm tired of making myself smaller in order to adjust to a certain environment, when actually most of the time, from my experience, being myself is what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? I also watched this thing from Living Single, this clip. Well, Kyle Barker, he was, I think, so they had three guys, three owners, business partners or whatever. Two of them were white, older white male. One of them was a younger black male. And the younger black male addressed his hair, because, you know, he had the locks or something in his hair. He addressed them, black man to black man, like, I think you need to get rid of your hairstyle because it's not professional. It's going to keep you from promoting, yada, yada, yada. So it looked like Cal Barker kind of sat on it, and he called a special meeting with the board, and they came in the room, and he was like, listen, I thought about it, and I'm not changing my hair. This is my culture. This is my roots, you know, and he expressed his pride about it. And then the two white guys was like, oh, we didn't care. Like, he was like, you know, this shows how diverse and how great y'all are and open-minded y'all are by accepting me for who I am. And they was like, we totally agree, and we was on board. And the black guy, he was like, you know what, I was meaning, I had a good intentions behind it. And then Kyle Barker kind of walked out on him, and he was like, the sad part is that you really did think that you had good intentions with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's the fact that I think, these are my thoughts, if we introduce ourselves and we are our authentic selves, that allows somebody to accept us. Whereas if we automatically going in a room saying they're not going to accept me and assuming all these negative things and already thinking small of ourselves, then they're going to just adjust to that. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy being unapologetic who I am, you know?
I would never like tell somebody, hey, you should change who you are, change something about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless they come to me and say, hey, I need some advice, you know, this is what's happening, you know, then I'll give my input. But just
Mm-hmm.
because I choose to go to work and act a certain way doesn't mean I'm going to push that on my coworkers to make the same choice as me.
Oh, yeah.
Be who
I
you want to
understand
be.
that.
You got this far being who you are. So if that's what's
Yeah.
working for you, do what's working for you. So
I just think it's time for us to stop
disagree
being.
with trying to make somebody feel bad for not code switching or feeling like they're being true to their authentic self. Like, do what you choose.
I just think it's time for us to stop code switching and doing those things, because I don't think it's necessary anymore. I think it was necessary at a time. I just don't think we're in that place anymore. And
we are.
You think we still in that place?
Yep, 100%.
I think we're coming out of it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think we're slowly coming out of it. I watched a video, and they said, of course, code switching kind of derived from racism. So I think as people are starting to be enlightened, like, you know, and come out of this, of course, we still have a huge group of people who are racist and still, but I think we're slowly coming out of it, especially this past year with everything that went on in 2020.
I just remember, like, for myself, this is me being guilty of it, judging other people. This is me. So I remember when I was younger, if I would meet somebody with a unique name or, you know, a black name, I'd be like, so your parents ain't care nothing about you? How you gonna get a job? Like, or what does that mean? Like, why, you know? And then as I got older, seeing people in higher positions now with their name, Shaniqua, whatever, and I was like, man, I just have a sense of pride. And then when I see that name, if I just see the name before I see the face, it's like, dang, I can get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at us rocking, you know, and like seeing it now, I just think that I respected that person for not shortening their name or not being anything else. But it took for somebody to do it, you know what I'm saying, in order for it to happen and for it to not be foreign to me, because that's how I was raised. It was like, you have a certain name, you ain't getting no job. If you have this kind of, you know, look, you're not getting a job. Before I started going natural, it's like my mom was like, girl, you ain't, like, you're not gonna get no job. You know. So, but now seeing everybody look like me, having unique names, and them having big, incredible careers, it's like, I just say we make it the norm to not be be unapologetic, accept me for who I am. And I think that's the idea of America in general, is we're a nation of immigrants. That means that we all come in with our own beauty and our own personalities and culture. And that diversity is what makes us great, because we can come in with so many different backgrounds and be more innovative because of it. You know what I'm saying? But so that's just my opinion on it.
So,
but I understand.
I agree with you. I agree. I feel like code switching came to be because it was a way for minorities to survive in America. Yes. Some may feel like we still need to do that today, because obviously the racial issues have not dissipated and they're still here. People still face issues all the time. But I do think, because we are wanting now to not just educate our allies, but create, I guess, chances for progressive change, this could be one of those things where we focus our efforts, and we have to, I guess, so code switching is ingrained in us. We do it without even realizing we're doing it. Then we need to awaken, I guess, ourselves, and identify when we're doing it so we can stop. Because if it's going to change, we're going to be the ones to change it. So we're going to go into the workplace and we're going to choose to be ourselves. And we're not going, and when we find ourselves code switching, we're going to be like, okay, no, that's who we were then. This is who we want to be. And then we have to move to who we want to be. But it's going to take effort, because it's so natural to people now. But I don't think that it's, I don't think that's necessary anymore. And I think that it's only necessary because we keep doing it. But once we break out of it, then, it's no longer needed. Once we create that new norm, like you were saying, then we could be who we want to be.
And just accepting people for who they are, right?
Yeah, absolutely agree. And it's funny because my mom, it's funny that you talk about names, April, because my mom named me Demi because she wanted me to find a corporate job or a professional job. So she gave me and my brothers all white names, as she would say, because her biggest thing is that when we filled out an application, they would assume that I was another race when they seen my name. And it's crazy because I never really understood what she meant by that as a child. I'm like, they don't know that I'm Black either way. But not realizing when you do apply for a job, most of the time they don't know that you're Black or white unless you put it on there on the application. And so I had 2 job interviews, and they were very, very blunt and told me that they thought that I was white based on my name. So they were completely baffled that I was a Black person named Demi. And the fact that you were bold enough to say that to my face tells me what type of person you are. And it really baffled me. I remember going back to my dad and was like, yo, this is what happened today. Like, do people really think like this? And it gave me a rude awakening. I was like, why do people think like this? Like, who cares if I'm Black, white, Chinese, Asian? It don't matter. My name Demi is Demi. You shouldn't have to worry about the color of my skin that's associated with my name. But then again, we are in America, and that's just how America have been. And so I always vowed when I had my kids will never have white names. I said that from the beginning when I was dating my husband. I said our kids will not have these quote unquote white names just so that they can find a job, so that they can make a living in this world. They're going to have unique Black names. And that's why we named them the names that we named them. Did we get crap for their names? Yes, we got crap for Nairobi name. Everybody was like, why y'all naming her Nairobi? Because it's a beautiful African country and city, and we're gonna name her Nairobi because we wanted to. But we got jokes for their names because it wasn't the typical name that they can be found in somebody's corporate job or whatever. And I remember telling someone just a few weeks ago, I said their name is not going to make them who they are. It's not going to determine their work ethic. It's not going to determine what type of personality they have. I was like, their name is just just a part of who they are, but it doesn't make them that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I don't feel like my children or anybody's children or anybody for that matter should be judged based on their name. And so I said that is the reason why we gave them the names that we gave them. And it's funny you say, Nikita, that what did you say? Darn it, I like. Okay, yes, but their names. And and how we need to make the change or whatever. And so
We
our
gotta be
biggest
change
thing,
agents.
huh?
We gotta be change agents.
Yes. And so I feel like it's my responsibility. It may not change within our generation right now, but I'm hoping in the next generation, like our kids' generations, that, you know, these things do change. And so I make it a priority, and my husband as well make it a priority to teach our kids every day that they're beautiful, you know, teach them about their name, where they come from, and be who you are. Don't allow anybody to change you, because that's not right. And, you know, just like our family members saying, oh, you know, I remember Naima, she was a little younger, but she's always been very outspoken. And a family member said, oh, you need to get your hair braided, because we had it in an afro with a cute little, you know, bow. And somebody told her that, oh, you need to get her hair braided. And she was like, no, I like my afro. I like my mommy put hoops in my hair. And I was like, there you go, baby. I was like, there you go. Because you shouldn't have to change the way you look and your name, how you are, just to fit persona for somebody else. I don't care who it is. And so, yeah, it's hard in certain situations, maybe, but at the end of the day, I think we should be true to ourselves. And though I don't think we're completely out of it, though. I won't say that we are in a new era in America, because we definitely not. We're definitely not. I think we're starting to get out of it, because people, I think we're becoming more comfortable in our skin as Black people. I think that's what's been going on the past year or so. And I think it's a beautiful thing, to be quite honest.
I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
How do you feel about people who aren't Black code switching to kind of fit in with us? Now we're going to flip it, because I'm curious about it.
Oh, that's a good one, Destiny. You trying to,
okay, so
go all
I
night.
I want to go back to what April talked about. What is something about about code switching being mentally draining. And I do personally think code switching can be mentally draining, because I do code switch because I rather just go into this place and get things done efficiently, and I know how I need to act to get things done efficiently, and da 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 da. But when I get off the clock, it makes me not want to it makes me want to just let loose and be who I am. But it makes me feel like, for that reason, I'd rather be around people who look and act like me whenever I can, like when I'm not in a professional setting. That's just who I want to be around. So it's like it's mentally draining to the point that I don't want to be around anybody except those that are like me, which is not a great thing. You know, it kind of, you know, keeps me in a little bubble, which is not necessarily good. But because of that, I don't see why people would want to code switch into being something they're not, just to hang out around Black people or whatever other type of person they're trying to hang around. Like, why would you want to do that? Just be you. You can still hang around those people, but let them decide that who you are is who they want to be around. Don't just turn into a different person just to be friends with somebody. That's a lot to do. That's a lot of energy.
I mean, it's a lot of energy, but people do that because they want to feel accepted by the people they want to be accepted by. So I understand why they do it, because I mean, like I said before, I did it to my Black people. And I felt the need to do it, but I don't think it's right for a white person or anybody outside of their community to code switch in order to be accepted by that community. Like it just feels wrong. I understand why they would want to do it, but I agree with Gariel. They should be who they are and let those people decide if that's who they want to hang out with or not. Because it's an act. It's an act, and can you keep it up? Because it is exhausting. How long can you keep it up? If this is what you're making a commitment at that point. If you're going around pretending to be somebody else and you're trying to be accepted by a community that you don't feel a part of, and in order to be accepted, you have to lie to them, then how long
then you don't need to be there.
Right. Because all lies come out eventually.
I see it a lot.
You articulated that so well.
So many influencers out there that are like, let me create this persona, and they seem like they keep it well, but I feel like internally they must be like, dang, this is hard. Like, it's hard. Like you said, it's draining. It's exhausting. Like, I don't know his name, but there's this one guy, and he does it all the time, and he reminds me of another influencer who's Black, and I'm like, I wonder if he tried to mimic. I don't know if y'all know who I'm talking about, but he tried to mimic her and do his thing, but like that, I don't know. I don't know if it's genuine. I don't know. It can't. Yeah.
If you have to question it, it's probably not.
Right.
Right.
So I think we can all agree that you want to be around people that accept you for you, and that there is a difference between being professional and letting people in and just letting them see the authentic you. And I think we all just want to be ourselves and be accepted for us, in our own beauty. So yeah, y'all gave me some insight, and it was really cool hearing you guys' experiences on it. And especially Ariel, when you explaining how drained you feel and how you want to, at the end of the day, you want to just be separated from work. Like, because you didn't wore this mask all day and you didn't put on this persona all day, and you just like, I just want to kick off my shoes, take off my shoes and take off this mask. You know what I'm saying? But I think sometimes maybe if we were all allowed to really live this American dream, maybe if we were able to bring our authentic selves to work and not have to have this persona on, then maybe we could contribute more. And we could, because the stronger your relationships are with people, the more you enjoy your job, the more you're able to open up and let your guard down, and the more productive the environment becomes. So hopefully that's a message to everybody. Like, we don't need y'all to code switch and be us, and we don't want to code switch and be y'all. We just want to be, everybody be their beautiful selves.
That's a good point about maybe you would be able to bring more to the table if you just let that one burden go and just do your thing. I didn't think about that, so.
But I think we can close this session down, but I wanted to leave everybody with this poem before we go on to the next. It's called The Mask We Wear by Paul Laurence Dunbar. And this is kind of what led me to my way of thinking about code switching. He says, the mask we wear that grins and lies, it hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human gal, with torn and bleeding hearts, we smile. And mouth with mirrored subtleties, why should the world be otherwise? In counting all our tears and sighs, we wear the mask. We smile, but oh great Christ, our cries to thee from the tortured soul arise. We sing, but oh the clay is vile, beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, we wear the mask. And again, that was We Wear the Mask by Paul Laurence Dunbar. And that's what I would like to leave y'all with is just let that marinate, and drop down the comments if y'all agree that we should still code switch if it's still necessary. Give us your thoughts. All right, Gabrielle. Can we lighten up
it's time to talk about how we're gonna spend these beautiful Black dollars.
Yes.
Yes. So, I don't know what y'all do, if y'all do like gel polish or acrylic or what y'all got going on, but I was an acrylicer before the lockdown. And I went through the first lockdown and I didn't do anything with my nails. And then the second one, I was like, no, I can't keep living this lifestyle. So I found some press-ons. I got some more now.
Ooh.
And these are some more that I ordered.
Oh, I love those
Oh,
colors.
Yes.
These are way too long for work. But these, and I already wore a set, but I think these I can get away with at work. So yeah, and they were like $20 a set.
Work.
And I think that's cheaper than going to get like fillings and stuff and whatnot. And they do last about 2 weeks. I got these from Nail Candy Press-Ons. That's their Instagram name too. It's just Nail Candy Press-Ons. So yeah, I think everybody should go check them out. Save a little bit of coins, get some diversity going with your nails.
Yes.
So on the weekends, I can show out now.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, that's the perfect thing for like those people switching from professional day to night. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom,
yeah,
boom, bam, bing, bada, bing, bam.
But yeah, so I was scared that press-ons were gonna be like popping off every 5 seconds, but if you get a good glue, they'll stay on there. So
that's what I was gonna ask.
Natural nail.
Huh?
How is it on your natural nail?
I think it's all right. So I'm still trying to grow out the last acrylic set. You know how your nails be messed up when you take it off. So it's about halfway grown out, and the new growth is not like, it's not damaged or anything from the nails. So I think they're doing all right.
Are they a Black-owned business?
They are a Black-owned business, you guys. Nail Candy Press-Ons. Get you some.
I was gonna ask. What was I gonna ask? So you still got to do your own manicure and all that stuff.
Yeah, you do. You just like push your cuticles down and that good stuff. And it's still a little work, but I'm cheap, so wherever I can
sure that's way better. That's still way better than the money we give away.
Yes, but there some I've seen some nail companies, their sets get expensive, but you know, you probably get a bunch of designs on it. But
are they reusable?
they are. So you know, kids, they have press-ons and they have like, it's like a bunch of nails, but those press-ons are kind of thin. They seem like thin plastic, but these are like, it's like they make it with acrylic, so they're pretty thick. Yeah.
Okay.
So they last. You can, if it comes off or if you take it off, you just put it right back on.
Regular nail glue, or does it come with nail glue?
It did come with nail glue, but like when I ordered this, it comes with the little, I should have grabbed it. It comes with the little pack with like a nail file and nail glue.
Ooh.
But I chose not to use it because I had already bought some nail glue, so I just used what I had.
Look, I'm about to get on there and buy some now because I'm all about it.
Thank you.
What was their name again? Just
Nail Candy Press-Ons.
I'm gonna put it in.
And you can choose like the shape, the size. You basically just pick the color from the picture, and then when you order, you can choose the shape, the size, and the length.
Man,
I need some
like the way things have changed in 2020, like the things like going back a little bit to the code switching, like we think we can't, we think we ain't able to, and then this whole pandemic came. It was like, so you either gonna find a way, or you gonna suffer. Like, and these people been finding a way to make their coins, you know, and people been finding a way to still look nice despite, you know. So I think it's been incredibly dope to see the adjustments that people been going through. And thank you. Okay. Now, let's talk about this movie, y'all. Girls, Malcolm and Marie.
I like
it. With Valentine's Day coming up, I think it was a great movie to come out during this month so we could talk about some Black love. It was a great way to show another version of us. I thought it was put together so well, but I wanted to talk about this movie because, let's be honest, it could have been perceived, and maybe y'all did perceive it as some toxicity. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
so let's talk about it. Let's get into this movie.
It was definitely toxic from the beginning. From the beginning. The whole vibe was off when they came through the door, so you knew it was about to go down. But the reason I liked it, the artistry of the movie, the actors and actress, and Zendaya, I don't know the dude's name, but we became a fan.
John David.
We became a fan.
John David? I thought it was Washington.
John David Washington. My bad.
Oh.
His daddy Denzel.
Yeah, that's what I know.
Hey, wait a minute. No, but we became a fan of him that night because he played the hell out of that part. He played the heck out of it. Zendaya, she did her thing too. We loved it because they did so well playing the characters. It made us feel like we was in the room with them to the point we was exhausted watching the movie because we was like, when y'all just gonna stop arguing? Like, you know, because but it definitely gave a realistic. I won't say it's realistic for everybody, but everybody's relationship is not perfect. And if you are in a relationship with someone, you have those blowout fights like that. However, because we all like to have respect for our significant others and we don't like to call them out their name, this and that, I don't think people I don't think people will actually argue to that intensity, but I think the movie was what we would like to say in most cases when we that angry. You know, because they was going in. They, like Gary, they was savages. They was going in. I don't care about your feelings. You gonna hear the truth tonight. Like, I don't care how you
I'm
feel.
shooting the kill type going in. Like, they was not playing.
Exactly. And I don't think in maybe, I don't know how to say it, in respectful relationships, you're not gonna have those type of fights. You're gonna draw a line somewhere so no one feels disrespected. But in that movie, it was like, no, you're gonna hear it all. So I feel like it was what people want to say when they argue, but they don't. You know, it's like what we say in our head, but it don't come out. But I think the movie was so good. Was it toxic? Yes. Was it exhausting? Yes. It may not have been the best picture of Black love. You know, if other people watching, like, oh, that's how they talk to each other. I could get the other side to it too. But at the same time, I liked it. I feel like it gave a realistic point of view of how relationships could be or maybe are. And, you know, they was just real honest and brutal. I enjoyed it, but it was definitely exhausting because I was tired of the arguing after a while. I just need to shut up and make up. Both of y'all got issues. Let it go. Yeah. So, but yeah.
So I'm gonna speak I think I'm the only person here that's not in a relationship or married. So that movie scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh no, because okay, so at first I was like, yes, sis, you better let him know. But then when he came back at her, I was like, oh, you're not gonna talk to me like that. And I feel like if I was in a relationship like that, I would leave. But you know, they say marriage is hard, marriage is about working it out, da 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 da. But can I take that? I don't think I could take that. Like, I wouldn't be dishing it out either, because she did get real disrespectful there, but he got real disrespectful too. So I feel like it just made me think, could I do this? Because I don't think so. I really don't.
You could. I think when you get into a relationship or marriage, well, I don't know, I'm not speaking for everybody else. I know you at least try your significant other at least once. You try to see how far you can get.
Just once?
I know my husband did with me. And then he quickly realized who I was because it wasn't going down. We had a little thing where we thought we was Malcolm and Marie when we first got, and he thought he was gonna talk to me any kind of way. And I was like, okay, pump your brakes, shawty, because I'm gonna give you the same thing back. But I think in relationships, when you argue and y'all have that big heated argument, you probably may try each other to see how far you can get, or not even see how far you can get, but you just get angry and you just say things. And then, but then that's how you know if you can take it or not, or that's how that person know how much you allow them to treat you. Because in most cases, somebody could do that and one person can just allow them to do it and then it just becomes a pattern. But then if you are like Marie and she wasn't having it, she was giving him his same crap back, then of course you have that. But then too, they were trying to one up each other. That's another issue. They was trying to one up each other to see who can be more of a savage than the other, so they wasn't letting it go. I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure the women probably understood how Marie was feeling. She just wanted a simple thank you. That's all she wanted. But,
that's it. Like, that's all she wanted. You could have just said thank you. Like,
the whole movie was around just 2 words, thank you. But but it was crazy though. But I think it is scary though, Gary. I do agree. I can see how it scared you from even wanting to be in a relationship. Cause I probably
So, question for y'all folks in love out there.
In love.
How many of nights like those do you think you could take? Like, wait. Arguments to the max. Like,
1. I'll be out.
So,
like,
I think I got a
like
different
you said,
take.
you're probably gonna have a couple of nights where things get real heated and like y'all go at each other's necks. But like, I feel like they were very disrespectful to each other. So how many times can you feel disrespected like that and still say, I'm touching it out. This is what I'm here for. So I don't know how many I can do.
For me, I think that what's important first to understand that everybody's tolerance level and relationship level is different. You know what I'm saying? What one may call passionate, somebody else may call disrespect. Mm-hmm. And they did mention in the movie this was the worst night they've ever had or something like that. But I mean, there's so many, because to me it was so layered. I thought it was so beautifully put together. But as far as how many nights I could take, I think I've been married for some years. Maybe, trying to remember. I've been married for some years. I think it's been like maybe 6. Damn, it was him.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna stop asking questions. I'm in trouble now.
My husband heard me.
It's beyond me.
He feel disrespected. But
well, you tell us how long y'all been married then.
How long?
I've been disrespected for too long. Too long. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you this because you don't do math that well. So if you think about it, you got married in 2015.
It's the math that I'm not good at. It's not the actual time frame. I'm just not good at math. Okay.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
So anyhow, so I can say in the beginning, I was trying to learn myself. He was trying to learn himself. And I think we did go through those things. You know what I'm saying? I think I took it more than what I ever thought I would. And I don't think it was taking, let me restate that. I think we exchanged more than I thought. I think it's really hard to live in a relationship with somebody. Dating, if I was dating, I'd have been like, bye, probably. But being married and having to have that paperwork, I stayed a little bit longer. Anyway, so I think that being married and choosing to be in a committed relationship, you take a little bit more than what you thought. But I also think that everybody has different lines. Like for me, for whatever reason, it's hanging up the phone. You ain't finna hang up the phone in my face. Period. It's hanging up the phone. And I think if he raised his voice at me in anger, you know what I'm saying, or call me out my name in anger, those are my hard lines, you know what I'm saying? But even that, for some reason, hanging up the phone is above that. Like, he may be able to get away with the name calling, but if you hang up the phone, like I'm done.
The trigger.
You hung up the phone in my face, like I don't know why that triggered me. But so I think everybody has their different lines, you know, and it's important to establish those lines in the beginning. Like I told him, bro, you hang up the phone, and I don't think he ever tried it, because like I think I made my point, like you hang up that phone in my face, it's a wrap. Like don't even call back, don't ever call back. Disappear. But I think it's just important to know yourself and just to draw those lines and set them expectations, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Me and Ruby been together. We've been married going on 10 years in May, and we definitely had
10
those
years.
nights. Yeah. We we definitely had those nights, just like that movie when we first got together. Again, like April said, her and Jay were trying to learn each other. Me and Ruben was trying to learn each other. We were so young, and we tried each other. We tried each other. We had no respect for each other. Our pride was in the way. We was selfish.
Ego.
Yeah, exactly. And it was bad. We had those calling each other out each other's name, going back and forth, cussing, screaming, all kinds of stuff. And the crazy thing is, you say, Gariel, that you don't know how much you can take of that. Honestly, before I got with him, I was like, I'm not gonna let no man disrespect me. But then when I got into that situation, like April said, you married, it's different now. So I couldn't just up and leave like I wanted to. You know what I mean? And because the part of me wanted to get up, take my and go, you know, but it was like, I'm stuck with this man. Like, not forever, but I was like, dang, I'm paperwork with this man. I'm like stuck with him.
But
And
I get
was
mentally
like,
divorced once a quarter, just to let y'all know.
Listen. And I'm just sitting there like, I either like I'm about to kill him or what do I do? You know, and so we definitely were disrespectful towards one another. But I think that came because we didn't know how to love each other properly. We didn't know how to love each other properly. We were young, selfish, prideful, and our ego was through the roof. And and yeah, and I said that too. I said I wouldn't take it. You know, I'm not the type of woman, you're not gonna disrespect me. Now that I am older, I am now 29. And so we don't have those arguments. We haven't had them type of arguments in years. I would say at least our second year, that's when we had stopped because we realized it was completely just toxic. We weren't getting nowhere with that kind of arguing. But I did also make it a point to let him know that you're not going to continue talking to me any kind of way and think that I'm just going to take it. And vice versa. I need to show him that same respect too. Because I couldn't be coming sideways, you know, and not expect him to get passionate or to get loud. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Like when you said marriage is hard, it's hard as hell, girl.
It's not even like the petty, oh, don't talk to me like that, don't this. It's like the things you say in an argument, they show how you feel deep down. So if a guy gets that crazy with me in an argument, it's like gonna play in the back of my mind through our whole relationship. Like, oh really? That's what you sitting over there thinking? Like, so I don't know how much of that I could take, because then I'm gonna be thinking that the whole relationship.
And you probably will, but I mean, that's when you know how that person feels truthfully. And then sometimes it's just that person is just trying to get under your skin and just throw low balls just because. So it may not even be truthful sometimes. Because I've thrown a couple low balls. Do I necessarily mean them? No. I'm just being mean because you said something to me, so I'm coming back at you.
Ego.
You know what I mean? But at the end, when I calm down, I'll be like, I really didn't mean that. That wasn't right. I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in the end, it's still not right. It's still exhausting. It is exhausting. Because then when it's all said and done, it's kind of like you think about it and you said, is it necessary? Was it necessary that we had that argument? You know? So, but like April said, everybody has their boundaries. Everybody has their line. For her, it's hanging up the phone. I'm hanging up the phone all day. I don't care. You can hang up the phone on me all day. I don't care. You can hang up the phone. It ain't gonna bother me because you have to see me anyways when I get home. But
you might as well hit me if you hang up that phone.
My pet peeve for me is if you put your hands on me.
Mm.
You can yell, you can scream, you can do all of that. You can do all that. Because at the end of the day, I guess I won't say it won't bother me, but at the end of the day, it's not necessary for me to lose sleep over. But if you put your hands on me, that's a different story. If you put your hands on me, that's a different story. That's where I draw the line. But then too, now my husband has never gotten disrespectful like Malcolm did in the movie. He's never gotten that far. When he said he'll break her like a twig, and he started going on the list of women that he had did.
But that was so hurtful.
That was just verbally break her like a twig.
Yes.
It wasn't physical.
Yes, no, of course.
He didn't mean physically. He was like, I will verbally destroy you right now.
That's worse though. It's
Listen,
not worse, but
it's just as bad in that tub.
I think we getting hard on Malcolm, and we not talking about the role that Marie played. Like, she played a big role in that argument.
She did. No, she did.
But for me, when I was watching it, I was like, first, I need to go on this podcast and apologize to all my exes. Because if y'all watching, thank you for watching. And I'm sorry. Because I was Marie at various times in my relationships, and it was more so because I was looking for validation, and I was looking for somebody else to feel me. And that's the conversation I was having with my husband about it. I was like, it was a thank you, but it was a thank you because she had made herself small for so long in their relationship that she was waiting for this one moment for him to validate her existence, for him to acknowledge her roles, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it was like, and that's what, to me, especially with it, that's just what I got out of it. She was just like, she was in a place where she was like unsure. She had quit acting. She had devoted all her time and energy into this man, into this movie, because she was saying, you know, she was on set advising and doing all that stuff. And the whole time she like, you know, he didn't fight for me during the role, but it's okay because I'll have this, you know, I play this part in the movie. He didn't, you know, I didn't do this during this part, but it's okay. At the end of it all, he will acknowledge me, you know? And then when he didn't, and then the Imani is going to go, you know, like folks do, they go in and she twisted that knife. She was already feeling some kind of way, you know? It like all exploded. And I think the whole relationship, the layers to the relationship was like, at first, you know, she come in the house and she like nothing. And we all say that word, what's wrong, nothing. And it was like, I told him, like, sometimes I don't know what I'm feeling at the time. You know what I'm saying? I know I feel a kind of way. And then on top of that, I have to make a decision. Do I want to say something about how I'm feeling? Or do I want to let this one go? And then it's like, and on top of all that, society has taught us to be small and to push and raise somebody, another person up. And so it's like, all right, do I be small? Is my voice important right now? Am I important? Is this that serious? And instead of like, it is that serious to me, you know, and being able to articulate and go through all that, you know? And so for me, what I saw from her is that struggle to figure herself out. And she just happened, like, when you're in a relationship, you can't just go to another room, figure yourself out. You like somebody in your face, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? And then once you figure that part out, it's like, all right, okay, I figured out, oh yeah, and this part, ugh. And then on top of that, this movie about her life coming in her face, I feel like it was all like a combination of stuff. Like, that was a trigger. And then on top of that, so she was just letting out. I think she was regurgitating things that were inside of her. And the most profound thing that John David said was, why can't you just get it that I love you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm paraphrasing a lot, like, but I went through all those struggles, you know what I'm saying? So I saw her, I was like, oh, I need to read the script, because is she a Pisces? Because I feel like they stole stuff from my life. So again, like, I was like, I remember being that young lady and going through those things and looking for acknowledgement and trying to get my fulfillment in somebody else, when it was really me finding out that nobody else could satisfy me and fulfill me but me. And when I go into a relationship, I don't go into it, it's not a 50-50, it's 100. You know what I'm saying? It was all things that I had to learn from my marriage that, you know, a lot of people, you know, I got a lot of bodies along the way that I had to go through, and I'm sorry. But yeah, so all that.
I agree. I think that also, I think what may have helped though, and that's something that we've kind of like started like working on, is like our love languages, acknowledging each other's love languages. And we've only been married, and that's not only, I hate to to diminish or belittle our like time together, but we're hitting 4 years this year. And, you know, the last couple of years, we've been focusing on honoring each other's love languages, and the way I give and I receive is different from the way that he gives and receives. So in their situation, I think it would have been important for them to like sit down and say, hey, like, this is how I'm feeling, but I understand, because I'm the same way. Sometimes I hate expressing how I feel. And especially if I feel that, like maybe she didn't feel valued at that moment, then she feels like, okay, let me push all this stuff down. So it took that moment to pull it all out, and that's when she regurgitated all of how she felt, like you said. And but I definitely think that establishing and acknowledging each other's love languages will come in handy in any type of relationship, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, a marriage, you know, your parents, anything like that. You have to kind of say, well, this is how I give and I receive. That's how you give and you receive. Let's somehow meet in the middle, you know. And like you said, it's 100 and 100. It's not 50-50. We have to both give as much as we can, and that's how we can make the best of the relationship, where whatever it is, you know.
What you got, Nikita? You quiet. You quiet.
You can edit this part out, but I'm quiet because I didn't know that we had homework and I didn't watch it. But I will say that after listening to y'all's conversation, it feels like I watched the movie. So
no, you didn't, sis. Go watch it. We didn't do it justice.
Watch it tonight. It sounds really interesting. I really hate drama, but I will watch this because it does sound intriguing. But as far as like relationships go, I'm not the type of person to argue. I don't like arguing. I don't really have that much of experience when it comes to relationships. My current relationship is almost 2 years old. We've never reached that point where we're like going at each other. He's the talker. He's the sensitive one. He likes to talk about everything when it happens, as soon as it happens. But for me, when I start feeling any type of way, I shut down. I don't like talking. I like to remove myself from the situation immediately, go to a different room, or just ignore, because I do not want to get there. I don't want to see what will happen when I get there, because, you know, I have no filter when I get angry, and I really don't want to see. And then I get flustered, and then me being flustered makes me more angry. It makes me kind of incoherent at that point. So I don't understand what I'm saying. He doesn't understand what I'm saying, and I'm getting more mad and more confused because I can't get out what I'm trying to say. So I need to take time to separate myself from the situation and from the person, calm down, formulate my thoughts. Like April said, figure out why I'm mad, why I'm feeling that way, and then have a conversation about it later on. Adrian, he doesn't really allow me to do that. He likes to just wants to go head to head right then and there, and that just does not work for me, and it makes me more mad. So rather than, you know, hashing it out with words, angry words, I just take myself out of the equation. So yeah, I would never allow for someone to talk to me disrespectful, marriage or not. your ass is grass, and you gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what I think the most important thing that I got out of everybody was that everybody's situation is for them, and it's important to get with the person first. It's important to know yourself and your levels and thresholds and communicate, and then get with the person that complements your situation. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, what some people translate as passionate, another person is like, oh hell no, you know. And it's okay. Another thing I want to, it's okay if my relationship is us fussing and cussing and then doing what we do. Like, that's my relationship. I don't think it's nobody else's place to judge or be worried about, because they ain't paying my bills and they ain't, you know, at the end of the day, I don't gotta lay with them. You feel me? But I think it's important. It's just like a friendship, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think if I had a friend that was their relationship was more on that aggressive, passionate side, I would be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for me to go. Y'all getting a little extra, or whenever, you know, they both come together, like, you know, I gotta go. I love y'all, but together y'all be extra. You know what I'm saying? But that works for some people, and some people being low key works for them, and I think it's all good in all those aspects. But I think you have to learn yourself and know what's toxic for you and what's not for you. You know what I'm saying? If it's not feeling good and somebody is demeaning you or making you feel some kind of way, or you have to be small on a regular basis, I don't think that's for you. The same as with code switching. I think, you know, if I can't be me, I gotta go. Because at some point, it's gonna break me and it's gonna hurt me, you know. And that's what I think, that's the important part that we should remember. Like, if it's not for you, sis, it's time to move on, and it's okay, you know. It's okay.
Speaking of doing things for you and that make you happy, let's talk about some self-love and self-care.
Yes.
All right, y'all. So I don't know about you, but I love me some self-care, some self-love. And I just recently started, not recently, maybe the last 2 years, I've been really tapping into the things that I need, what feels good to me. You know, and there's a lot of different things, but I'm going to talk about that now. But self-care, if you don't know, is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health, if you didn't know. And I've always seen this quote. It's like, if you don't take care of your wellness, you're going to be taking care of your illness. And I thought that that was so important, so powerful, because like, you don't realize that the self-care that you do now will take care of you and will help you and prevent all these different illnesses or whatever later down the line. And there was actually a podcaster I used to listen to. I still listen to, but she said that, and the first time I was just like, dang, like it hit, because I'm such a workaholic. I always like focus on whatever it is that I'm doing, and I don't necessarily take care of myself. So, excuse me. Yeah, I need to take care of myself. You hear me? Like squeezing up I got asthma, y'all. So, but it's important, so important to take care of yourself. There's 3 different types of self-care. You can do physical, emotional, or spiritual. So that could be like taking a bath, getting your hair, your nails done. It could be taking a nap, because resting is essential. And then it could be like journaling or meditating, you know, whatever it is, find what you need in that moment. And I think that's important, because we see like online, everyone talks about like, go shopping, go all the material things, but it may not be material for you. You may need to go and do some self-love, you know, come and see journaling and discovering what you need personally. And I think everyone, it varies what you all need. So like for me, I love being in water. I love taking my baths. I like being in nature. I'm an earth sign, so like nature is where I'm supposed to be, but I don't necessarily like bugs, so I have to get past that. But you know, everyone is different, and so I just want to leave y'all with 5 different ways that you can take more care of yourself. One being adequate sleep. For an average adult, it's best to get 7 or more hours of sleep, and I know that's hard for the moms out there. parents out there in general, it's hard, but 7 is like the best. Around 7 hours of sleep is like the best amount of sleep for our bodies. Regular exercise. Last week I mentioned that we should get 30 minutes a day for at least 5 days a week. And so that's just taking care of our bodies, also mental, everything, emotional. You'll feel it all throughout the body. Boundary setting, I wrote down, because sometimes I feel that we take on a lot and we say yes, 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 but maybe internally we didn't feel like we needed to do whatever that was, or we didn't really want to do it, and we said yes to, and it's like, why do I really want to do that? So honoring those boundaries you set internally and saying no, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to explain yourself to nobody. So that's self-care. Also spending time in elements that you thrive in. Like I said, I love water. And so for you, that may be being outside, or that may be doing whatever, but spend time in those elements that you love and feels good to you. And then lastly, eating foods that do good for your body. So eating foods of all colors of the rainbow, fruits, veggies, all of that is really good, taking all that nutrients, because like most of the time we don't eat all of the colors of the rainbow, so we're not taking in all of the nutrients that we need on a daily basis. And so making sure that you eat all the things that are good for you is really essential. So what kind of ways do y'all take care of your body? Self-care, self-love, what do you do?
Drink water. Lots of water.
Yes.
That one. And work out. But water, sometimes I literally forget to drink. And it's not like I'm drinking things that aren't water. I'm just not drinking at all.
Mm-hmm. Me
So
too.
weird. I have to remind myself, girl, drink some water. But
yeah. What about self-love? Do you give yourself love in any kind of way? With Valentine's Day just passing, is there anything you do?
Yes, I am. So I think Valentine's Day and Halloween are my favorite holidays. And so I've always been one to show self-love on Valentine's Day. I never really needed a date. It's just like that moment where I love to give. So Valentine's Day, I loved making people smile. And I would usually get little things to make somebody smile. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one thing I used to do, excuse me, for Valentine's Day. And what's another way I do self-love? I shut down. I just go in my own little space. That's my way of giving myself love. Not being around. Sometimes I just need to unplug from people. And so, yeah. And I've been painting lately. That's how I do it. What about you, Demi? Especially with a new baby. How you been shutting down, girl?
Yeah, you need some self-love.
That's why I'm quite on this one, because I don't give myself self-love. And I think that's been since before kids. I've always been selfless, and I've always put everyone before me, even my family. So I've never given myself the care that it needs. And then after being married and having kids, I definitely put myself last. As much as I say, oh, I need to have time to myself, I need to care for myself and do things, I don't, because my main concern is that my husband and my kids are taken care of first. And so it's hard, though I know I need to, it's hard for me to put myself first. And then when when my husband forces me to do it, I feel bad. Mm-hmm. And so I feel bad doing it. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be home. Are you guys okay? Or if I go out to get things for myself, to pamper myself, I come back with things for them, nothing for me, And so he's like, that wasn't the point. You were supposed to go out, enjoy yourself, relax. And I'm just like, but yeah. So that's something that I'm still learning. That's something I'm still learning. I do know where I thrive in. I love home decor. So, I thrive in going into stores and just window shopping, looking at home decor. I'm a very simple person. But other than that, I don't do nature. I'm not sitting outside. I don't like bugs. And you can have me at the beach. I'll sit at the beach. I'm not getting in the water. I respect the ocean and its animals, its creatures. I'm good. But I don't. Nature is beautiful, but I respect that it's not my territory, and I don't do animals. But yeah, my element is just, I guess, going into stores that I enjoy and window shopping for home decor. But other than that, I don't really do self-love. I know I should, but I don't. And so just like Valentine's Day, I made sure everybody was taken care of for Valentine's Day. And I think that's self-love for me, that seeing everyone is taken care of and happy, then that makes me feel good. So
that's what I was gonna say. Maybe that's your love language. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe it's just your love language. Like, you enjoy that aspect of giving. You know, that's just to make you feel good.
Yeah, but then it becomes exhausting, like Destiny was saying, setting boundaries, because then I say yes to everything, and I want to please everybody, and I want to be everyone's friend. Now, it's not I want to be everyone's friend, because I don't have a lot of friends, but if I call you my friend, that means a lot, and there's only 5 people on my hand I can say that, and I go above and beyond. Like, they are like, I'm married to them. Like, I'm here for you, you know, and so then I put myself last when it comes to them too. But that's probably, I like giving to people that I really, really care about and making sure that they're taken care of. But then
your homework is taking some time out this Valentine's Day.
I was gonna say that's your New Year's resolution, girl. You need to learn how to self-love.
When not with Nairobi gonna say,
listen, you take your 30 minutes. I ain't say take a whole day, but take your 30 minutes. You take some kind of time, and you say, "This is my self-love time." Period.
Yeah.
Period. You can take a 30-minute nap if you want to.
Girl.
Listen, them naps mean everything right now.
Everything.
Listen.
Well, then that's your self-care, your self-love.
Yeah.
Giving yourself some time just to relax for a little bit, you know.
I guess I never thought about self-care. I guess I thought that's for them to be on the safe side, because if I don't nap, I'm a different person in this house. That's what that is.
Your kids be like, "Oh, it's time for you to take a nap."
Listen, Ruben, all of them would ask me, "Mommy, did you take a nap today? Are you tired?" Don't ask me that.
Oh my gosh. You know what? The Majestic Queens, our dance group, that was probably the first time in however many years at the time that I was married and with kids that I took that time for myself. That was my self-love at the time. And I think being with you guys during that time was really something I needed that I didn't even realize I needed, you know? Or I realized I needed, I just didn't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Especially socializing with people, and it's like, but yeah, so that was definitely my self-love at the time, spending time with you guys in person and dancing. Oh my God, that was so fun.
I would definitely agree with that. I didn't think about that. Definitely dancing with you guys was self-love, because I got to go back to doing something that I loved doing my whole life. So it was something for me, you know? So I would definitely agree with that. Majestic Queens was definitely self-love, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. I got to be selfish for a little bit.
And
girl, I loved your selfish. I loved your selfish, girl. Man.
But self-care is not selfish.
No, it's not.
Because you only get one body on this earth. You got to take care of yourself too.
That is true.
You're so right.
That is true.
Thank y'all for answering.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us and chit-chatting with us on this beautiful Monday. If you made it this far, go ahead now and click like and share this podcast so everyone knows when to tune in every Monday.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Hey, create a great day, y'all.
Bye.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.